Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central this evening with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. Yes. We're here once again bringing you the best in the north, south, east, and the west. Stories that you have never heard before in a form that you've never heard or seen them in, because we're bringing you the Black Panther, the story of the Black Panther Party, the graphic novel. Yes, something that's really hot off the press, and we're pumping it live and direct right over here on Black Facts. So don't just give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Don't just give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Go ahead and let all your friends, your family, and your enemies know as well. And maybe you can even turn those enemies into some frenemies. Yes, let's do it right now. We're moving on in and zeroing in on our proverb of the day, which is, he who wants to barter usually knows what is best for him. He who wants to barter usually knows what is best for him. You want to do a little bartering and trading? Well, guess what? You can have it made in the shade. That's right. Even better than living in an Everglade. Because you know, if you live in an Everglade, you're gonna have to deal with some gators. Sooner or later, you're gonna see a gator. Meanwhile, that proverb we just read, which I said again, is, he who wants to barter usually knows what is best for him. That is coming to you live and direct from the nation of Ethiopia in Northeast Africa. Meanwhile, we're moving right in on our story tonight. And our story tonight is all about the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Very important that we say their whole name so that you don't start thinking that they're just a bunch of wild-eyed revolutionaries running around with weapons in the streets. No. They're much more than that. They were a party for self-defense, and their whole MO, their MO was all about defense, and the best offense being a good defense. Or does it go the other way around? Is it the best offense is a defense, the best defense is an offense? Well, however that goes, in their case, their focus was on defense more than offense. But they just finished having their first encounter with the Popo, and they have they came out of that one. Not only did they come out alive, the Popo didn't even know what to do with them, because they had never seen or encountered anything like them before. You know how they've been snatching all these brothers and sisters out of vehicles and putting them down on the ground face down and all that? Panthers didn't play that. No. They were riding 5 deep, each one of them with a shotgun, 30-06, highly visible. So couldn't anybody say that they had a concealed weapon, and nobody had a slug in the chamber, which is important. That's a little legal technicality, because it means that the guns are technically not loaded. But once that cop hears that sound, clickety clackety, they locked and loaded in. But they wouldn't do that unless they stepped out the ride. So we're going to continue on, and we're introducing to you the latest character in this saga. We're just getting ready to introduce a man by the name of Eldridge Cleaver. Some of y'all may have heard of him. Some people think of him as the Iceman, because he was icy. He was like a Steely Dan of the icy variety. That's right. And you'll learn more about why we say that later. Eldridge Cleaver, born 1935 in Arkansas, moved with his family to L.A. during WW2, World War II in other words. After several run-ins with the law, he was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for possession of some marijuana. In 1954, he was just 19 years old. While he was incarcerated at Soledad State Prison in California, he earned his high school diploma while studying a wide range of works by writers like W.E.B. Du Bois, Karl Marx, Machiavelli. Y'all heard of Machiavelli. I know y'all did. Y'all been listening to some Tupac. Okay? Yeah, y'all know his mama was in the Black Panthers too, right? So all of this is totally relevant. Totally relevant. All right, here we go. And there we go. On this page, you can see right there at the top in the right-hand corner is his most famous book. It was called Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver. That was like a primer back in the day. That was something everybody needed to, if you were interested in black liberation, then you were expected to know what was in that book, Soul on Ice. Within a year of being released from prison in 1957, Eldridge Cleaver was once again incarcerated, and this time he was sentenced to 14 years for assault with intent to kill. In Folsom State Prison, he became politicized, joined the Nation of Islam, claimed to have fallen in love with Beverly Axelrod, a white civil rights attorney. During his time at Folsom, Cleaver began writing essays and letters, including love letters to Axelrod, that described his life as a criminal and serial rapist, and his transformation into a political thinker. With the help of Axelrod, his writing began to appear in Ramparts magazine, and it helped garner him a following, especially among black political activists. He was paroled in 1966. He moved to San Francisco and went to work for Ramparts. 2 years later, his collected writing was published as Soul on Ice. Through his work at Ramparts and his political activity, Eldridge Cleaver became something of a celebrity in the Bay Area. He confounded Black House, a cultural center designed to foster the growing Black Power movement. It was at this time that he first met Newton and Seal, who invited him to join the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. But Eldridge Cleaver declined because he was already a member of another Black Panther Party. And now we get to this part, which I didn't know about. So we're going to learn about this part together. The other Black Panthers. The early history of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense can get confusing, as there were multiple groups calling themselves the Black Panthers. The original Black Panther Party was a nickname given to the Lowndes County Freedom Organization down in Lowndes County, I believe that's Alabama. With the growth of the Black Power movement, organizations inspired by the LCFO's political party began to develop. In cities like LA and Chicago, groups with names like the Black Panther Political Party began to appear. In San Francisco, the Black Panther Party of Northern California grew out of Revolutionary Action Movement. Cleaver joined up with the Ram-affiliated group of Panthers when he moved to San Fran. These other organizations would eventually disband by 1969, leaving only the Oakland-based Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, which shortened its name to the Black Panther Party in 1968. So that's how we get to that. So now y'all getting the full skinny on that. Now this is a pivotal moment here. As you know, there have been other pivotal moments, but this was particularly a game changer right here. And they call it Guarding Sister Betty. February 21st, 1967. Having made a name for themselves in Oakland, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was asked by Eldridge Cleaver and Ram-affiliated Black Panther Party of Northern California to help provide security for Betty Shabazz, the widow of Malcolm X. Shabazz was in San Francisco to speak at a conference. Newton, Bobby Seale, and a group of armed Panthers met her at the airport, where they immediately caught the attention of both airport security and the police. Despite an exchange of words, there was no major incident between the Panthers and airport authorities. The Panthers escorted Shabazz to the offices of Ramparts magazine. This is where the real trouble began. From the very beginning, there had been ideological differences between the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense and the Black Panther Party of Northern California. Bobby Seale called the San Francisco group the Paper Panthers because they were hesitant to take up arms and confront the police. While leaving the offices of Ramparts, Shabazz made a request of the Panthers. Please, I don't want anyone taking pictures. Anything you say, Sister Shabazz. So Huey tells the photographer, no taking photos. And of course, he starts clicking his camera because he don't pay no mind to that. He's a news reporter, meaning that he's like Superman. He's invulnerable. If you recall, Superman, that was his alter ego. Clark Kent was a newspaper journalist. And in general, they think of themselves as being invulnerable, that they can go anywhere and do whatever they want because they're going under the authority of their press pass. So Huey says to the guy again, I said no pictures, knocks him down. Now, technically, maybe he shouldn't have done that. Maybe he should have just snatched the camera, took the film out without knocking the guy down. But he did knock the guy down, and now there's a policeman on the scene talking about what's going on here. Like this guy just miraculously appeared out of nowhere. And Huey says to the policeman, I want this man arrested for assault. Interesting defense. Okay. Huey says he wants him arrested for defense, for assault. The policeman says, I saw you knock that man to the ground. Huey says, I was acting in self-defense. Some of the other Panthers say, come on, man. And then somebody else says, looks like Bobby, says, let's split. Huey, meanwhile, is still over there arguing with him. Huey says, that man assaulted me. I want him arrested. He gonna make an issue out of this one. He's making his stand. Now the police want to know, what are you doing with that gun? Now he could have followed that up with the N-word, because that's what he really meant. He was thinking it. Huey says, defending myself. And if you go for your gun, I will shoot you. Huey didn't have no problem being confrontational, at least according to this story. Okay. He said, I will shoot you, and looks these cops dead in their eyes. Now, you know that's a threat right there. Anytime you look anybody dead in the eye, and especially a cop, that's a threat. So, Huey and the cops are in a stare down contest. Finally, Huey says, I'm waiting. Then the cops respond, don't do anything with that gun. And Huey says, don't you do anything with your gun. Then they continue to stare some more. Finally, the cops turn on their heels and they walk off. Again, this is 2 times now. They've had confrontations with the police, and the police have turned on their heels and walked off. You recall we read about that yesterday. Newton and Seale had asked Cleaver to join the Black Panther Party for self-defense. At first, Cleaver declined their invitation. Now you see the picture of the Panthers standing around talking and smiling after the cops had left. But now that Cleaver has witnessed the Black Panther Party for self-defense in action, standing up to the police by protecting Sister Betty Shabazz on oh oh February 21st, 1967 is when this all went down. That's when Eldridge Cleaver changed his mind. By the way, February 21st, that's the day Malcolm was assassinated. February 21st, just 3 years prior. Was it 2 years? I think 2 years. Might have been 1965. 2 years earlier, Malcolm X had been assassinated on that very same day. And that's the day they were having this confrontation with the police. Okay, we're gonna let me see. Well, you know what? We'll do 2 more and then we'll break off. 2 more pages. So let's go ahead, move on in here. The murder of Denzel Dowell, April 1st, 1967, in Richmond, a city north of Oakland. 22-year-old Denzel Dowell was killed by police. Dowell was one of several young black people to be killed by police in and around Richmond, California. Dowell's family did not believe the police reports of his death, but their questions went unanswered. With no one to turn to, Mark Comfort introduced the Dowell family to the newly formed Black Panther Party for self-defense. The Panthers began their own investigation of the killing of Dowell, examining the crime scene, talking to members of the community who had heard the shooting. They quickly uncovered several inconsistencies in the police report. The police claimed that Dowell was shot 3 times and that he had been running away from the scene of a crime. In fact, Dowell had been shot 6 times, and his wounds proved he had been facing the killers with his hands raised above his head. In other words, don't shoot. Right? Other facts from the police report did not line up with forensic or crime scene evidence. For example, no blood on the ground near Dowell's body, indicating the body had been moved after he was shot. The more likely scenario was that Dowell had been killed by a county sheriff's deputy with a history of racism and a personal grudge against Denzel Dowell. All right, last page before we take a break for tonight. In the weeks following the killing of Denzel Dowell, several rallies were held by the Panthers in Richmond in an effort to bring attention to the brutality of law enforcement. Now, you keep in mind, this is in the day before Al Sharpton. This is before the guy named Crump. This is before there were other people that might have come to the family's aid. So this is where this stuff really begins at, where you have someone saying they want to defend the rights of the victim of these police atrocities. To help publicize the rally, the Panthers distributed the first issue of the Black Panther. The first issue of the newspaper was nothing more than a newsletter, 2 pages, stapled together with information about the killing of Denzel Dowell and an upcoming rally. 3,000 copies of the Black Panther newsletter were handed out. For the first time since the founding of the organization, the Panthers were fully connected with the community. Now, so in the next section, we'll get deep off into the Black Panther Party newspaper, because that newspaper was crucially crucial, because it gave the Panthers a voice. It gave them a platform. Before we had these platforms that we have now, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever, WhatsApp and all these kind of things, newspapers were your platform. Newspapers were somewhere you could advertise your platform. Your platform is basically, what do you want and what do you believe? And you remember we talked about they had written that out when they first got started, before, when it was just the two of them, Bobby and Huey. Okay, they'd written that out already. So now we're at the point where they're using the newspaper to make people aware of what their platform is. And they're using the newspaper as a platform of its own. So newspaper, the Black Panther Party newspaper, is crucially crucial. Crucially crucial. Yeah, I don't know if we got any old copies around. I used to have copies of it, but I don't know if I still have any copies around here, or my dad has some or not. But we have to check the archives to see what we find. Meanwhile, all you little children out there, you know what time it is. I don't have to give you no quiz, and you don't have to be no whiz. All you got to do is lay your little head on your little pillow, on your little bed, and close those your eyes and wait for that big old sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine, oh children of mine. And that's what I want you to do right about now, while I take a minute to talk to your parents. Okay? Now, we've been doing this this is our second year. We're in our second year now. Now it's time to get serious. We're building Black Facts. Black Facts, we're building Black Facts like Huey and Bobby built the Black Panthers. Black Facts is our platform. And just like they needed support from their community, we need support from our community. What kind of support do we need? You already know. We tell y'all the very same thing every single night. Number one, give us a like on Facebook. Number two, give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. You can even make comments on YouTube in the chat function, using the chat function, okay, or the comments function. And number three, most importantly, go ahead and become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. How do you do that? Make a donation, but make it a recurring donation. $5 a month over the period of a year will do it. That'll be excellent. That will help us achieve a goal of developing Black Facts into a more professional, more powerful platform from which to continue to provide some Black history facts. Not just Black history facts, but the Black stories, the Black history stories, the stories, the bios, the biographies, the autobiographies, etc., of Black people that have come before us, and some of who are still with us, like Bobby Seale. He's still with us. Okay? So you can do it a number of different ways. If you're on YouTube, click the link at the bottom of the page, go to the website. When you get there, donation link at the top of the page, boom, you're done. If you're doing it on Facebook, then, and you're on your phone, then go to your notifications area, and you'll find in there the notifications about how to donate to Black Facts. If you're on your laptop, then just go underneath each live stream. You'll find a link to make a donation there. And last but not least, if you can't find any one of those, just go to our profile picture right now. Okay, don't wait till later. Do it now. Go to our profile picture, click the picture, make a donation right there. That's a limited time link. That link doesn't stay there forever. It comes and it goes. And right now it's there. So use it and stop being such a square. All right. In the meantime, it's time for me to go, because if I talk any longer, I may start to act like a bear. And I don't want to do that just because you acting like a square. So I'm going to leave it right there. Look for us tomorrow. We will resume with the autobiography of Malcolm X. We'll be reading more from the autobiography of Malcolm X starting at noon tomorrow on Doc Ock at noon and 9. Keep in mind, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the playlist that we posted up today. We posted it in YouTube, but we also put links to the YouTube playlist on Facebook, on a number of groups, on our profile page, etc. So you go there, click the link, and check out the whole piece. Okay, it starts off with a clip of the Nicholas brothers in the movie, a colorized video, a rendition of a section of the movie Stormy Weather, with the Nicholas brothers, you know, doing their thing on the dance floor. But you need to watch the whole thing, because I'm telling a story there about how what we have done has influenced what other people have done, and they've taken some things that we did that we didn't even think, we just were doing it as part of our culture. They took it on, turned it into something revolutionary, and now it's become part of their culture. And I'm talking about on a worldwide basis, not just here in the USA. Okay? We've been doing this, we continue to do this, so it's important what we do, because we set the pace for the whole doggone world. Let's keep doing that. Peace out, y'all. This is Doc Ock signing off. We'll be black tomorrow. Look for us then with a grin.